I want to just give you a loving reminder that how we are really is more important than what we are doing. And so often how we're doing something becomes more important in the end than what we did. You can think about something really simple like preparing a meal. Let's say that you're making something, it doesn't even matter what. Let's even just say it's spaghetti and meatballs and salad, okay? And you're making the dinner and you're stressing out while the water is boiling and you need it to go faster, and you're stirring the pasta and you're just waiting and waiting for it to get ready, and all the time you're thinking you're making the meatballs and you're waiting for the oven to heat up, and the whole time you're thinking I need this to go faster, I need this to go faster, and then your mind is skipping around and you're thinking about work, you're thinking about things that aren't going right, all the things that you have to do, right? When you have that kind of experience, when you're creating something, it has an effect on the outcome. You might forget, in all of your distracted thinking, we might forget to add the salt. It wouldn't taste very good. We might lose track of the timing of the pasta and it gets overcooked, or it all sticks together. Or we might forget to put in some of the tomatoes that we bought into the salad. And then the tomatoes, it was like the last day that we could use them and they go bad. And so the outcome of what we produce is affected by our energy while we're producing it. Whereas in that same scenario, if we're bringing calmer energy to the process, we're less likely to forget. If we're enjoying the process, maybe we're listening to some music or we're listening to a podcast, or we have our kids engaged in some way and we're more attuned to the process of the dinner that we're making, and we're more thinking about slowing down while we're doing it, paying attention to the smells and temperatures, we can actually kind of like get lost in it a little bit. There's a little bit of flow possibility there. Flow is just um, a word that means, you get lost in what you're doing to the point where you lose track of time, and in a good way. Now I know day after day, meal after meal, it's not that exciting to be creating meals for your family. I do it a lot in my house, and I know that it can be hard to find the joy there. But also I know this to be true for sure, that when I create the meals that are slapdash and I'm thinking about other things, and whether I forget the ingredients or not. So let's say the spaghetti and the meatballs comes out the same, right? Let's say I'm so on automatic pilot that I can make this dish in my sleep, so I don't have to be paying attention. I'm not going to enjoy it as much, but I don't have to be paying attention as much to get it right. When I finally serve it to my family, right? There's a really big way in which I am bringing that energy to the family meal. Whether I'm slapping the plates down and saying, serve yourself, I'm done, I'm tired, and I've done that for sure. Versus when I even if they serve themselves, but I set the plates down or I set it out buffet style and I say, guys, tonight we're doing it buffet style, let's go. And it's the same thing, it's just how it's being presented. So I'm saying two things here. One, in the creation of something, your energy around it may lead to a less ideal result. You may forget the ingredients, right? You may not, but you may. And so that's a risk that we take when we're not being present and when we're not really enjoying the process of something, and we're checked out or we're so worried about other things we're not paying attention. And often with parenting, that's the case because we're cooking, but we've got this going on in the playroom and we've got that going on in the other room, and we're trying to manage a whole bunch of things. We can, I've cooked many subpar dishes before and served them up calling it dinner. They haven't been wonderful meals at all. But the more important thing, and the second point that I'm getting to, is around this idea of how we are serving it once it's ready and how our children receive it from us. And I think I heard somebody say, I think it was Oprah, who said, she's got a sign next to her door which says, "You are responsible for the energy that you bring to a room." And I believe that. I believe that how we set the plates down, how we set it out, our tone of voice, everything that we are bringing to the table in this case, literally, is our responsibility to make sure that we're bringing the energy that we want. Now, does that mean that just because you put a whole lot of love into the meal and you're paying attention and you're really like paying attention to the oregano and you're putting all this love into it and you set it out beautifully on a tablecloth with linen napkins and you really put your heart and soul into this meal, does it mean your kids are going to like it? No. Also, does it mean that the meal is going to go beautifully, like this, like amazing? No, it doesn't. Somebody might still have a meltdown. Somebody might still, you know, lose their temper. Somebody might still interrupt at the table. It might still be rushed. And then we have a decision to make. Do we get hooked into the story of, why do I bother making these meals when nobody even cares about them? And this is not worth it anyway, right? That means that we were attaching our intention to an outcome. Or can we rise above that, move past that, and say, I'm going to do this presentation. And again, I'm not talking about a beautiful meal. You can serve like a not beautiful meal in a beautiful way. Am I going to serve this in a way? Am I going to present it in a way and sit down with the energy that at least it's an invitation for there to be conversation, maybe some play, maybe some self reflection? What energy am I serving up? What energy am I bringing to the table? So I've talked about a few things there in the process of creating something, in how we serve it, and then the detaching from the results. Those are three really simple things to talk about, and they're challenging to do, just like anything that has to do with being more conscious, more aware, more awake, more mindful. It's simple, but it's not easy. So I hope that helps you today.